What up, taste buds? Welcome back to the Irreverent Food Podcast. Put it in my mouth where nothing is off the table. Judith, pardon my voice.
Oh, no, it sounds sexy.
I mean, does it sound sexy? I think it sounds terrible, but I just blame it on the juice cleanse that I did in New Orleans this past weekend.
But I'm pumped.
And by juice, I mean all the juniper juice and the daiquiri juice.
Wait, is that an alcohol joke?
I guess.
Okay, is
Call
that a dad joke?
What you will.
What are the ants' names on The Simpsons?
Oh, they sound like this, and they smoke. What do they smoke like a pack of Marlboro Reds with the hair? I don't remember. Man,
okay, it'll come to me. Let's not talk about it anymore. And I'll in the middle of the pod.
So we had a fun week. We had some fun events.
Yeah,
we were invited to that Jacques Pepin.
And there was a cake that looked like books.
And
two of my favorite things, cake and books.
Yes, it was in fact cake.
And I keep thinking about how gorgeous that space is.
Oh yeah, and thank you Skylight for inviting us, because
like the most beautiful room I've ever been in. Well, okay, like in the top 5.
Stunning. It's in the old Domino Sugar Factory in Williamsburg.
Like, and then the best part is the views of Manhattan.
The views, insane. And we had some amazing food.
And the bridges.
Yeah. Oh my God. What a time. We got to wear dresses. It was nice. And then we got invited yesterday to that Smash Burger collab.
And I was like, I don't want a fucking burger. I'm so bored of burgers. But they were really,
and then after we had inhaled them.
Good. Yes. That was like, oh, I remember why I like Smash Burgers.
Shout out Skinny Louie for their Smash Burger collab.
They were so good.
They teamed up with a Belgian Smash Burger company called Rambo. Yeah. Doing
those burgers were good.
Delicious. Fucking delicious. And, you and I were talking about this yesterday over said burgers. And I don't know how this has never been brought up on the pod, because this is like...
I don't believe that it's
one of the moments in my life.
Like our number one fan will have to... Who's our number one fan? Janet?
Janet? Matt? No, Matt. My dad listens more than my mom does.
Okay, Matt is going to have to tell us if this is
true.
I do
not believe that we have talked about on this pod the time that you and I went to Neverland Ranch.
I don't believe that we've never talked about it.
Maybe we'll have to ask Candace. I went back and listened to a few episodes that I thought we might have, and we didn't.
Okay. So
I mean, do you remember?
Okay,
I remember when we went to Neverland Ranch.
I remember bits and pieces. You remember different parts.
Okay,
so what had happened?
I think it was like 2001, because it was my old nose.
It was?
It was before my nose job.
Oh, Dimples was your old nose.
Yeah. So that's how I look at life.
Okay, pre and post.
And post rhinoplasty. I was working at this karaoke bar in Burbank called Dimples.
I still have a Dimples envelope opener.
Oh my God. Anyway, my boss, the owner, knew someone who was having like a company barbecue.
In my head, it was... what I remember, it was like the stagehands that worked for Disney somehow.
I don't even remember what it was.
I don't remember that part.
All I know is we took a limo.
A stretch limo.
We did. Up to Ojai. Camera phones didn't exist. And I remember we didn't know where we were going. So we get to the gate and they ask us all to sign NDAs. And I didn't even know what a fucking NDA was.
And at that point, we were drunk.
We were.
Because what's his face got us drunk in the...
Sal. His name was Sal.
Sal. Of course his name was Sal.
So we're drinking on the limo on the way up. We're 22 years old, probably.
Total assholes.
And they ask us to sign these NDAs. And we're like, where are we?
So I don't remember that we didn't know that that's where we were going.
Okay, so then I just remember seeing like the gate and being like, what in the actual fuck?
I thought we knew that we were going there, but honestly, it was 150 years ago. I don't remember.
It's unclear. I just remember having that moment of like, we're in Neverland.
We're in the Neverland Ranch.
And so I remember that. Let me set the stage for you guys. Let me tell you what Neverland looks like. And we'll make this short so we can bring on, our esteemed guest. But when you go in, there's like statues of children everywhere, like playing, running.
Topiary.
Yes, topiaries. There's a bakery and a train that runs around the property. And the train goes through the bakery. And I remember you went into the bakery, and if they didn't have something that you wanted, which they pretty much had everything, they would just make it for you. They're like, we'll just bake you whatever you want. And then that train went around the property. It went through like a a reptile house and like the zoo part. Remember
there was a
that?
petting zoo. There were
There
rides.
were monkeys. There were rides. You go in the whole
There
backyard.
were like bumper cars.
Bumper cars, the zipper,
Uh-huh.
swings. They were bumping Janet Jackson the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember going on the zipper with my boss who almost threw up on me. There was a movie theater that we could go watch the very first X-Men before it ever came out.
I don't remember that it was X-Men. I remember that there was a theater.
And again, you could get any candy you wanted. And if they didn't have what you wanted, you could just ask for it.
We're eating and drinking all day like kids at a candy store.
Exactly. And then
and his house was tiny. Do you remember?
His house
was
that
like
large, yeah.
little in the middle of this amusement park.
Right.
And he waved from the window. Do you remember that?
I do vaguely yes, I do remember that. And right next to it, do you remember there was like the little wooden house that was like the arcade?
No.
There was like Dance Dance Revolution type games and all these arcades. And then next to that, there was a huge lake and there was like these swan boats.
I remember
then
the swan boats.
There was like a trampoline that was like built into the ground. It was just absolutely
It was pretty crazy.
insane that we went to Neverland.
And we were like, oh, hey, Michael, wave.
Like no one can say that.
Nope.
Anyway.
Okay.
That's our
So
story.
now we've talked about it on the podcast. Now everybody knows.
Mm-hmm.
Even though we signed an NDA. Come and get us.
Oh, I wonder if they could still enforce
Come and get
that.
us.
Probably not. All right, should we bring on our guest?
Yeah.
If you guys have more questions about Neverland, hit us in the DMs. All right, Judith. So let's get to our guest. He's also a podcast host.
Oh, is he?
Yes, he's the host of the Speakeasy podcast, in fact. A producer, a deep thoughts shower guy, a historian of booze, a librarian of cocktail lore, a spirited awards winner, and just as opinionated as we are, everyone say hello to Greg Benson.
Hi, Greg Benson.
Hey, everybody.
Hi.
Hello, Greg.
Thank you so much for. I have so many more questions
Okay,
about Neverland
I bet you
Ranch,
do.
but I can save them for afterwards, or we can. I don't know.
What's your number one question?
We'll allow you one.
Yeah, think of your most important one.
Well, I guess because like I'm situating this because the X-Men movie came out in 2000, and that's probably
Then this
like
was 2000.
that's probably mid transformation from like late 80s, early 90s MJ into the sort of gonzo freak puppet of
Yeah.
like the late aughts.
Yep.
So where was he along that spectrum? That's kind of, was there because I feel like we didn't see the middle point, and I was just in my
I
head
think
trying to be
this
like,
was the
what would it
middle
look
point,
like?
right?
Yeah, we'd have to look up in the year 2000 what was actually happening with him, because that's it had to have been 2000.
Because it was like a little weird. It was like, but not like, oh,
Yeah, it wasn't.
It-
I don't remember being like, we're going to see.
right. But it was a little weird.
But I mean, I've always been such an MJ fan. Like,
Yeah, just kind of one of those things where it's just like, that doesn't quite look normal. Where it's like, did someone put my mug in a different place in the cabinet? Like it doesn't quite, something about this is off and it's disturbing me. That
And that's
kind of sort
how
of a thing.
I felt about Neverland Ranch. It was like, this is a playground for children. He lives in the middle of a playground for children. Like he wants to be a child.
yeah, you could tell that, he was scarred as a child.
Yeah.
He never got to be a kid.
Man, I used to kiss that Thriller album. I was like 6. I had such a crush on him. Anyway, well, let's talk about you. Here's my most important question to you.
Hit me.
Are cocktails just chilled alcoholic soup?
Kinda, yeah.
Yeah. during
think
the
so.
Soup season.
I love soup.
I know you do. So it's a soup question for you. Yo, congrats on 15 years.
Thank you so much. Yeah, it'll be 15 on, I meant to look this up on the way in here, the exact day, but I'm pretty sure it's January 11th is the day that the podcast turns 15.
Okay, so it is the oldest or the longest running cocktail podcast in the world.
Correct.
In the whole world?
In the whole world. There is a podcast about drinks that has been on the air longer than us. That's the Whiskey Cast. And I'm also blanking on the fellow who runs it, but solid human being, really, really nice guy, does great work. So I'm not trying to like steal any valor from him, but as the name implies, it's very much like whiskey focused. And it's kind of like reading the news a lot. Like he'll take you through what's happening in the world of whiskey. Deeply informative, real deep dive. But ours is, I think, a little bit more irreverent than that. I kind of call it like bartender car talk sometimes. And because we're not just whiskey, I'm like, you know what? I'm planting the flag on like we're the longest running cocktail podcast.
Okay. And I mean, 15 years, that's crazy. You joined the the podcast when?
I joined the podcast in 2019, so I haven't been on it for 15 years. I was
There's still a granddaddy of podcasting.
Oh, thank you.
Still a daddy of podcasting.
Thank you. Yeah, I was going to say, like, I chafe a little bit at granddaddy, but daddy of podcasting, I will take.
I mean, I'm surprised people even knew what a podcast was 15 years ago. That was like the beginning, right?
Dude, oh yeah. Well, I mean, even when I started doing it, because I started my first show in 2016, and I always tell people that for the first 5 years or so that I was doing this, about half the conversations I had about this job would involve at some point the person kind of like looking kind of shy and embarrassed and getting a little closer and be like, What's a podcast?
And you'd be like, well, it's like radio, but it's not like radio, and it's on the internet, but it doesn't have to be on the internet.
It's like a
You know
TV
that
show,
app
but not
that
on the
came
TV?
standard on your phone, but you never use, and you put it in the folder of like things I don't want to look at? It's like blue. It's that one. That's a podcast.
So tell us how you shifted, because you were in the hospitality world, in the bar world. Wait, are you Maryland, DC? Are you a DC guy?
I am a DC guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Me
There we
too.
go.
Yep.
Hell
Judith,
yeah.
The DMV.
DC,
Yeah.
Dusty. Yep. Annapolis. We went to college in Baltimore. She grew up in PG County. Where'd you grow up?
I fucking love Baltimore. Baltimore is a wildly underrated city.
I agree. I
the
do.
best dive bar in the world is there. Have you guys ever been to Nacho Mama's?
Oh my God.
Yes.
You eat the chips
Yes.
out of a hubcap.
The hubcap.
And there's velvet Elvises everywhere. Have we been to Nacho Mama's? Are you joking?
Oh man. I didn't get, like, after I moved away from DC, I didn't go for like 6 years, and I was finally back in Baltimore, and I went and I walked through the front doors, and I remember thinking, thank God they didn't fuck this place up by making it nice.
Yeah. It's great. It is and that whole neighborhood in Baltimore, it's such a great little area.
Yeah.
Wait, so you grew up in DC?
Yep. Grew up
Okay.
in well, kind of in and around DC. Again, I don't want to do like the people who actually like lived in the district get kind of like, but are you really from DC though?
Usually it's Virginia.
It was 5 minutes. It was 5 minutes away.
It was right on the metro. It was like 5 stops away on the metro.
Arlington, actually.
Exactly.
It's McLean.
So yeah, I did go to high school out in Arlington and did most of my formative growing up out
Called
there. But I was born in Georgetown, and I lived off of New York Avenue and off of H Street for a while before I moved to New York. So
Destiny.
I feel
It's
entitled
destiny.
to claim some home in the actual
Absolutely.
district proper.
All right, so you started doing all this bar stuff, bartending, running bars, etc. What sort of shifted that brought you into the podcast world?
Well, I mean, I started my first podcast the way that I think 90% of podcasts start, which is that I was a white guy who was bored. I was working at a brewery in DC, and I was just getting kind of burnt out on the world of beer. I really fell in love with it in my early 20s when microbrewing was like really cool.
Oh yeah.
Remember when like being able to like identify what particular hop was in a beer was like
Oh,
the
man.
sexiest
No,
thing ever?
so
Oh,
nerdy.
what a
Those
time.
nerdy beer guys.
It was a simpler time. And I really fell in love with that in my early 20s, and I was like, this is going to be who I am. And
This is my life now.
yeah,
Did you
exactly.
have
I was like,
did
I'm
you
a
have the
brewery
mustache,
guy.
And did you wear suspenders?
No, but I had this, but not the sides. So it was the kind of the lead singer of Smash Mouth goatee was
Oh
what
my
I had.
Mhm.
Dress for the job you want,
Yeah.
There you go.
Uh-huh.
But I kind of was, falling out of love for that. Part of it had to do with where I worked, which is why I'm not going to name the spot. But if you know me, you can figure it out.
I'm gonna pour you some more rum while you're talking.
Oh yeah, just trying to get it out of me, huh? It's like, here, not gonna spill the secrets. Have just a little bit more. Thank you.
Oh shit, he's onto us.
Yeah. That's why this is such a great industry of just like the booze journalism is fun because your subjects
it's
get
booze.
more and more truthful as it goes on.
Yep.
But I was talking with a really good friend of mine, and I was like, man, I wish there was some way that you could just like Trojan horse a way to tell people like, this is how you behave in restaurants. This is how you're supposed to tip. And I was like, I bet that if you couched that in a larger, more informative sort of podcast shape, you could like sneak some etiquette tips into people's
So it's like
diets.
Sesame Street.
Yeah.
But
Basically,
Kind of,
adults
yeah.
for
And for
adults.
drinking.
But with drinks and swearing. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I love that.
I really like
because
that.
we always say that everybody should have to work in the hospitality industry.
Oh my God.
You know?
What
Yeah,
a
to
better
get your
place the
adult
world
card.
would be.
yeah. It
Yeah.
must be a fucking rule.
Yeah.
You can tell the people who have not
100%.
worked in a hospitality setting. Yes.
Always.
Always. Yeah, and I don't like them.
It always cracks me up. I always try and see what's going on like political Instagram on Labor Day of all of the people who have clearly like are members of Congress who would be crying in the walk-in 10 minutes after service started if they had to do that job, being like, congratulations to labor that supports this country. I'm like, you could never.
You could
You could
never
never.
actually labor.
Never. Well, since you worked in the cocktail industry for so long, tell us what cocktail order makes you undateable? I've got one. Do you have one?
Oh, undateable?
Yeah, like because I
Okay.
used to bartend for many, many years as well. And if somebody were to order this from me, I'd be like, I would never date you. And do you want to go first?
Yes.
Go.
I have two answers, and I think because we're talking about dating, we're gonna have to tread into the gender binary a little bit. But I think that if I'm on a date with a woman and they order an amaretto sour, the drink that says I'd like to see some ID, which is
I don't
nothing.
think I've ever ordered an amaretto sour in my life.
And here's the
But
thing
I
is,
see what you're saying.
but that's not the amaretto sour's fault. What that tells me is that this is an uncurious person who walked into a bar on their 21st birthday and didn't know what they wanted and asked the bartender to recommend something. And the bartender looked at what day it was on their driver's license and was like, you'll like this. It's sweet. And then they never really branched out from there. Obviously, I'm making a generalization about 4 billion people.
love
I'm sure there's some
generalization.
wildly
Yeah,
interesting
absolutely.
people who love amaretto sours. And I think if they're done well,
There's
they can be
probably a
really,
podcast
really
about
good.
it.
Oh yeah. There's probably like 50 podcasts about the amaretto sour out there.
Someone's actually writing down, right? Oh, I want to do a podcast about amaretto sour.
Right?
Amaretto
That's
sour.
a great idea. Yeah.
So what's your second?
I think for guys, it is a egg white whiskey sour.
How specific? Tell us why.
Because, and maybe this is just a little bit of my leftover cantankerousness from having made these in the past. But again, I really like an egg white whiskey sour. But I think
I mean,
that
it sounds delicious. I've never had it. Now I want one.
but
But now you don't want to date me.
no, well, I just won't make one for you.
Oh, that's a different conversation.
I was gonna say I'll pay somebody else to do it, but it's so much effort for something that I think is so very simple, and it's a red sports car of a drink to me.
All right.
It's a
you
person
got a
show.
small dick drink.
It's a person who's kind of like, like I'll take a whiskey sour with the egg white, please. Just kind of like specialize in like, don't worry, I know what I'm talking
Oh,
about.
that guy.
That guy. And something
Who,
about
like,
that.
snaps his shirt so that you can see his dumb watch.
Right.
Yes, exactly. And those sorts of people generally order 4 or 5, and there's just so much extra work that goes into like getting the egg white in there, cleaning your tins afterwards.
Fuck
and
that guy.
it's
We're not dating them.
No. I don't
Yeah,
wanna date that
exactly.
guy either.
Yeah.
Well, I'm never dating a guy that orders a Long Island iced tea. Can you imagine?
Ooh.
Can you
But
imagine?
that's also like, oh, you like this is what you ordered at your friend's little brother's bar mitzvah.
Or when you're 21 and
Yeah.
you don't know any other drinks and you're poor and you're like,
I want to
here
get as drunk
shit-faced.
as possible,
Right.
as fast as possible.
Yeah, but if anyone ordered that seriously and was hot, his fuckability would go just
Plummet.
down.
That would go down, but you would not. But
Oh,
I
what about
think-
you?
anything with Jägermeister.
Oh, really? I don't know. I respect Jaeger as a gateway drug into the world of Amaro.
That's ooh.
Ooh.
Okay, but
I mean,
just order
all right,
better
okay.
Amaro. Like, why? Why are we still,
I don't know. I just feel like it's the frat boys.
It is.
The frat boy of liquors.
Yeah.
That's true. If you're bombing Jägermeister into something else, that's kind of a red flag.
If you're
Yeah.
bombing it into Red Bulls. Let's
That's not a thing, is it?
It was
yeah,
a
I was like,
thing.
I was thinking, are the kids still doing that?
Let's bring it back, you guys.
Yeah. I once had a barback who was a really, really, just really smart kid, really dedicated, and he really wanted to learn about making cocktails. And he came up to me and he's like, "Hey, man, can you, any chance you can give me some pointers about how to make these drinks and just kind of run me through some basics so I know how to make like an old fashioned, a Manhattan, a martini?" And I was like, "Absolutely, man." I told him, "Tell you what, you and I are both working Sunday night after the afternoon rush dies down and you get cut. Stick around. I'll walk you through some precepts." And he gets cut and he comes over and I look at him. I'm like, "Okay, here's the first thing that I want you to remember. And you always do this. Measure everything you put into your tins. Some people are going to tell you that their counts are really good. Those people are full of shit. Doctors measure, scientists measure, architects measure." I'm like, "You're a professional. You measure that shit. And that shows you care about your craft." And 30 seconds later, the service printer printed out a ticket for a Long Island iced tea. And I was like, "All right, when you see one of these, I need you to forget everything I just told you about measuring. Just pick as many bottles with one hand up as you can and just get it in there as fast as possible."
Gross.
That's fucking crazy.
You are a professional unless it comes to this drink. No one's a professional about this drink.
Oh my God. So how do you feel that, like, since you've been doing this for so long, podcasting particularly, and now media has changed so much, and we have the TikTok and the Instagram and the YouTube and all the things, like, how do you feel like everything is changing due to all of that? Like, how is our experience changing?
I think that our experience of being in bars is changing a lot because I'm seeing a real polarization towards either super divey experiences or really high luxury experiences. And I feel like those sort of more middle of the road bars, the sort of bars that really paved the way for what I guess we're now calling the cocktail revolution, the places like, Milk and Honey / Attaboy, Death and Company, PDT, were kind of in a place where you didn't have to be making finance bro money to treat yourself to going there, once a week, every other week. And yet they were very elevated places that didn't have moves that the average person kind of couldn't understand or replicate given enough practice. And I think that, this is just me being a everything is political person, but
isn't it though?
But yeah, so often my AP government teacher when I was a senior in high school.
Oh, AP,
would
smarty
drill.
pants.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. It's that Arlington, Virginia education, baby.
Hell yeah.
What just would drill into us, everything is political. And so often when I'm working on a story, because I also do some freelance stuff in addition to hosting the podcast, or really just thinking, how are we going to introduce the show this week? What are we going to banter about before we bring in our guest? I hear that voice in my head just being like, everything is political. And we have...
So the rich are getting richer and the poor are getting poorer, and there's no more middle class and there's no more middle bar.
Exactly.
You're saying.
Yes. And the industry is responding to that. And I think it's also responding to the fact that even if you are sort of technically middle class, yet it doesn't feel... It neither feels that special nor that high value to go to a place that's like a good solid middle of the road bar. So you either want to like be ripping shots of well whiskey and Miller High Lifes. Yeah, exactly. Or
you want to cosplay that.
Yeah, and there's also that.
Like, oh, this was a dive bar.
Yeah.
Nothing. I know we're going to get to the I don't fuck with that segment later. And this is actually not my I don't fuck with that, but maybe it should be. Nothing gets under my skin more than bars that are like, we're like a dive. Like, I think
say that. Yeah.
I think there's a guy who lives in Bushwick who is like the dive bar fluffer. And when these places are closed, he goes in and has like the little paint roller and puts like just the right amount of stickiness on the floor. And he has like a little Q-tip and he like dabs water spots on the mirror. Yeah. He's got a little like spray bottle full of pee, and he just gives like he has tweezers and he puts like a precisely placed little pube just like right there on the toilet seat, and he's good. Now it's a dive.
Oh.
It's a very curated dive experience. And I'm just
man.
like, I don't like going to places that look like they paid extra money to look shitty. Be a spot like Nacho Mama's. Be a sports bar that's dedicated to a sports team that hasn't existed for 40 years. That's a real dive bar right there.
So how do you feel about this age of like, we're in the age of $30 martinis and that's becoming the norm?
If I'm being honest, the thing I think about it is that there's not really much we can do about it.
And why do you think that is?
Because prices aren't going to go down. Wages are going to hopefully rise to make up for it, or they won't. But I think that once things get more expensive, they rarely, if ever, get less expensive.
Yeah.
And I guess that wouldn't bug me so much, but it's the sort of the stratification. And I think there is this interesting trend that we're going to unpack every year on the podcast for our last show of the year. We sort of do a thing where we are our own guests and we sort of talk about what happened this year, what are some trends to watch, what's making you happy, what's making you sad. My co-host, sometimes I feel like I'm hosting a podcast with Eeyore and Tigger, and I'm like the tiebreaker of whether we're going to be happy or sad about a given thing. And I'm very perplexed by this almost split personality high dive thing that I'm seeing a lot of, where it's like we were just talking about, there's a place that genuinely I think is a good bar here in Chelsea that does a really highbrow Jaeger bomb. And
what bar? Shout it out.
It's a place called Hello Hello.
Oh, shout out. Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes. I was just in there the other night.
Lovely spot. Really nice team. Really good
shout
spot.
Out Marfio.
Yeah. And I love them, and they're wonderful people, but I'm just, I guess, a little bit perplexed. I'm just like, what does it say about where we are as a culture that our comfort food is paying 2 to 3 times as much as this thing costs to get like the artisanal version of it? I don't know. I hope you can tell that I'm still wrestling with this live on air, and I don't really have the answers, but I don't think it's good. I don't think it says anything good or healthy about our society that's kind of where we're at. I don't know. What do you guys think?
I don't know. I feel like bartenders are always trying to be, if you're at your top in your craft, you're trying to be creative, right? So I feel like it's, whatever is old is new again, and people are always trying to find
the basics and then fuck it up.
Right. Or a new spin. And I also think that nostalgia, people will pay for nostalgia. So you think about something like, a Red Bull Jaeger situation, and it's like, okay, the smell of that alone would probably brings back
the
so
sense
many
memory.
memories.
Sense memory.
And again, how much are we willing to pay for that? It wasn't good then, but can we bring back the nostalgia and make a higher end version and pay a little bit more? I mean, I guess I see the intention behind it. And for me, I feel like intention is, if there's no intention, like what is there, I don't know. Did I answer the question?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I think we're all a little like, I like it, but I don't like that I like it.
And I think I feel like that's a very healthy way for us to think about nostalgia. So cheers to us.
Yeah.
We're being well-adjusted
I like
people.
It, but is it okay that I like it?
Yeah.
I
And that's the thing, is like, I don't want to shame anyone for finding comfort. I mean, the world's hard enough. Like if you enjoy, I think Friends is a very silly show, but you know what? If it makes you happy to just like throw on a few episodes of that in between dinner and when you go to bed, like I'm not going to get on you. Life's hard enough as it is.
No, seriously.
But I
feel that way about Seinfeld.
Yeah, exactly. I know. I'm much more of a Seinfeld person myself. But I think that you also have to be just very self-examinatory. I don't know if that's a word, about the things.
Now. Yep.
Yeah, there we go. It's in use. Take me out the world English dictionary.
Yeah.
About the things that you are being nostalgic about, because I think it's a very powerful emotion, and I think it can really blind you to the present that you're living in if you're in love with this version of the past that you're sort of looking at through these rose-colored glasses.
Right. A version that wasn't there.
Yeah.
You're making it up.
Well, let's
Yeah.
talk about the present and
Let's do it.
and the future. Going back to the whole TikTok thing, do you feel like that is good for bars and like drinks going viral and all of the content that's being made not necessarily by people that are in the field? Like how do you feel about all that?
I have a friend who was running a bar not that far away from here, actually, a place called Pretty Ricky's.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it
Do you
was,
live right by there?
oh, beautiful spot.
Mhm.
Said friend is actually no longer with that place. In fact, I don't think I know anyone who still works there, but I imagine it's still good. I imagine it's still a fun spot. And they got written up in late January of, I think, 2022 of being one of the best places in Lower Manhattan to watch the Super Bowl. They didn't have a TV.
Wait, what?
Wait, what?
So this is
So
just
someone
some
got
a-hole,
mixed
right?
up or
some ding dong.
yeah, or someone just
having a
did a
fact checker?
Google search. Yeah.
Wow.
And put out this listicle and they saw this and they're like, fuck, now we have
Now
to
we have
go
to get a TV?
Yeah, they had to go out and rent a TV
Wow.
because they're like, people are going to see this and they're going to show up and not be able to watch the Super
And
Bowl.
that changes the
And
whole vibe.
and that's going to be our problem. That's going to be our thing that we fucked up.
Yeah, because they don't want to deal with the people coming in to complain just because this one person doesn't have a fact check.
That's
That is
really funny.
messed up.
Yeah.
It's funny, but it's also really fucked up.
Yeah, and I've seen this happen a bunch of times. My co-host on the Speakeasy, Souther Teague, he runs Amore Amargo, which
Yes, he does. Shout out Souther.
yeah, oh, cheers, man.
Cheers.
And their whole conceit is like, we don't do anything that doesn't come out of a bottle. We have one ingredient that doesn't come out of a bottle, and it's water. We do stirred, bitter cocktails, no juice, no syrups, no infusions, nothing. And I was visiting him early December one year. And unbeknownst to both of us, an article had dropped earlier that day that listed them as one of the best places to get mulled wine in the city,
Oh.
which is not a thing they'd ever had or ever will have. But I got the distinct
So
pleasure.
bizarre.
If you know Souther, you know, and I say this with all the love in my heart because he's one of my absolute favorite people, but like when the first person came in and asked him for mulled wine, he made the expression that a cat makes when you spritz them with water when they're on the counter. Just kind of this like shocked and disgusted, just like whence cometh this information? And it happened like
so.
2 or 3 times while I was there. And you know, it was kind of funny. And because he's a professional through and through, I think most of those people stayed and stuck around and had some of the drinks that he made. But man,
I mean, that's
What
one
is
way to get people into your
specific-
bar.
yeah.
Non-actual thing.
Yeah.
Mulled wine.
Okay, so
Yes.
basically we're saying that content can really fuck up your establishment.
I think it's just the fact that we don't have, I don't know, like we don't have, people don't get their recommendations from reviewers anymore. They get it from influencers. I don't know.
Right.
I tend to, if I'm in a new place and there's a bar I want to check out, I usually go onto their Instagram because I'm like, this is going to have the most accurate version of like when they're open and what they're serving. You know, it's useful in that way that you can get it straight from the horse's mouth. But I think that there is just such an explosion of information
Yeah.
that it is.
You don't know which information to trust.
Yeah. Yeah. And
so much
And the answer
information.
is none of it.
I know. I know we're not breaking any new ground here by being like breaking news. There's a lot of fake shit on the internet,
Yeah.
but it
Read
affects
about
the
it
bar
on the
industry as
internet.
well.
Oh,
Yeah.
Damn.
Still fun to talk about. Oh man. All right, do you want to play a game?
Please, I love games. Let's do it.
Okay, great. How good are you at improv?
If I say very, do I sound like an egotistical asshole?
Yes,
Uh-huh.
you do.
Okay, great.
Especially
Let's do it.
since
We're
you're
gonna
talking
eat
to
it up.
2 theater majors. So our whole motto is yes and. But
No.
No, it's not?
No.
that's what we were taught. So we're gonna play a game with you because you are somewhat of a booze historian. You even produced a podcast that was all about weird.
I did. Oh yeah, so that was
history loss.
that first podcast that I was talking about that we got
Wow.
Amazing.
yeah, that we got ADHD theater major sidetracked from. But yeah, it was a booze history podcast, and that's how I wound up on the Speakeasy because Souther was on my show and then he invited me to come on his show, and now here we are.
Well, now we're just waiting for an invite to go onto your show. Anyway, let's play the game.
Y'all are welcome anytime. I would
Hell yes.
do a
All
fun little like 90s style crossover episode.
Ooh, we love it. We love it. All right, so we're going to play a little cocktail history game with you, okay? But we like to call it the Greg Benson Bullshit Challenge. All right, we know you know a lot of actual facts, but we want to see if you can just make up some non-facts.
Okay.
All right, so Judith, do you want to tell him what the rules are? We're going to give you a few scenarios.
All right, we're going to give you a handful of scenarios, and you have to answer the question with a date,
A historical date.
the name of a bartender, and a technical bartending term.
Okay.
Okay.
Yep.
So
You look
we'll-
scared.
Yeah.
Do I?
Yeah. Yeah. All right.
I'm just like, these are a lot of rules.
So I'm going to give you a prompt, and you need to respond. You need to answer the prompt with a name, a date, and a bartending term.
And these are in fact not real things, but you need to convince us that they are.
yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
All
right,
go
let's
for
do it.
Judith.
All right. Number 1. The margarita was invented as a cure for scurvy in landlocked Nebraska.
Tell us about it.
Tell us all about it.
Well, you see, it's a common misconception that agave is actually native to South Central North America.
No shit.
Yeah, there's actually a version of it that salmon use as fuel for their famous migration north.
up the stream.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
right.
Up the Omaha River there. And so it grows in those climates that are like right on right along the
riverbank?
riverbank. Yeah, exactly.
That makes sense.
Yeah, and that provides a valuable source of food for those fish.
A lot of sugar.
Yeah, exactly.
okay.
Yeah. And, famously, I mean, I don't know if you guys have ever been to Omaha, Nebraska, but they don't really do fruits and vegetables there. So this was really sort of it's a way to Trojan horse the vitamin C into people's diets. And a kind of way of just like, well, people were drinking a lot of tequila famously. I mean, we all remember the Old West song, right? About
Oh, yeah,
Nebraska
sing
and
it.
drinking agave.
Sing it for us.
Oh man, it's something just kind of like, I was headed west to Idaho along the old river,
Oh, right.
and exactly. And I something in my agave plants. Yeah, and I sold my trout to her, and it's like it's a beautiful, it's a beautiful love story.
I'm going to have to Google it later.
Yeah.
So what date was this? And which bartender discovered it?
Oh, this would have been
Created the margarita.
This would have been in 1865. It was actually funny story.
Oh, I
It
kept
was
saying 66.
Yeah.
I mean, that was the date that it was first published, but we have actual documented journal evidence that this was inspired by the funeral of President Abraham Lincoln after he was assassinated. Yes, because they wanted to create something that was very, uniquely of the moment and American, and to kind of celebrate the fact that, the Union was back together again, and yet we were feeling this pain.
Yeah.
And what
Mourning
brings
as a
people
nation.
together and yet hurts on a deep moral level like tequila. Right?
Yeah.
So that's why.
Especially the day after.
Yeah, exactly. So that's why they had that. And then they brought in the triple sec, the orange liqueur, because oranges had just been discovered.
Another way to get vitamin C. All those scurvy-ridden Nebraskans.
Yeah.
Yeah, and actually, I mean, this is another fun fact. We're going on a bit of a tangent here, but we actually didn't discover that orange juice came from oranges until 1996. So for a while there, we thought it was.
I
did
do
learn that in high
remember
school.
that.
Yes.
Remember, we'd have the sun kissed, and we
Yeah.
were like,
Yeah.
what is
Yeah.
this?
Yeah,
Yeah.
we thought it was just the tears of kittens.
Yeah, and you would freeze them
Only
and
the
you'd put them in
orange
those
kittens.
cardboard
Only the
tubes.
orange- the
Yeah,
tabby
yeah.
cat.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
it.
That was it.
Yeah.
Okay, let's run. I can see that
I think
you
maybe
can
we're
keep going.
too good
Too
at
good.
it.
All right,
Okay.
let's give you another one or maybe two.
All right,
This
let's go
time
for
you
it.
have to bring in a bartender's name and a bartending technical term, which you might have, but wow. The salmon.
Yeah, it
I
was
did
I'm
good.
not
pretty sure
expect
Abe Lincoln worked as a
And Abe
bartender at some
I did
point
not
in his
expect it
life,
to go
maybe.
there.
Okay. So I read on the internet that in early bartending, all of the mixing of the spirits was done under the watchful eye of the local witch. Is that true?
That is true. That's actually why they call them spirits. So you know the whole thing about witches and their familiars, right?
Yeah.
So, these
Like
days,
the black cat.
exactly, the black cat,
Yeah,
the toad, that's kind of sort of a Halloweenified, like Hallmarkified version of that. Because what it actually was is they would supervise the distillation, and then those spirits, they would actually siphon some of them off and kind of keep them in a little vial like poppers.
Oh.
So that, yeah, exactly. So if there was someone that they needed to, I don't know, like someone in town that like they needed a favor from, or someone that owed them money, they could just kind of hold it under their nose and bam, and they'd get just like that big whiff of alcohol. And then if
They'd
that
be
didn't
bewitched.
work, exactly, yes.
Oh, wow, Judith.
Yeah.
Yes, and.
Yeah, which is kind of where this comes from. Obviously, it all came to a head in the Salem witch trials when,
Obviously.
when famous witch hunter and bartender Cotton Pennygood.
I remember.
I'm sure we all remember. Yeah,
Heard of Cotton Pennygood.
if you, yeah, of course. I mean, well, especially if you
One-eyed
took.
Cotton Pennygood.
Yeah, especially if you're from the DMV and you learn that kind of like East Coast history. Like we had
Yes.
some Salem witch trial stuff in there. But he was a bartender before he had a conversion where he was struck blind in Ocean City, Maryland.
He was.
What would later become Ocean City, Maryland.
Yes.
Yeah, I think at the time it was known as Clam Town. But
With an town with an E.
with an E, yeah.
T-O-W-N-E.
And Clam was spelled Clamme.
Yeah.
And
C-L-A-H-M.
as a result of, yeah, and he had been,
There's a G in there somewhere.
Clam.
it's actually, if you want to be really proper about it, it is spelled with the numeral 3 in there, but it's silent.
The 3 is silent.
Yes.
And tell me about the witches.
Well, so he'd been a bartender living a life of sin, and then he had a whole thing where he was struck by, now we know that it was just contaminated clam juice, which now is a delicacy on the Jersey Shore. I don't know if you all know that.
And
Yeah,
the
you can get
Maryland
a cocktail with a blindness back.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It really helps things. And whatever you're up to in the Jersey Shore, it's going to make it easier. Trust me. And as a result of that, he kind of, found religion and became a witch hunter, and sort of tried to put a stop to this practice because, this was giving women agency, and this was the 1600s, and we couldn't have that.
Women should not have any rights.
Yes.
We all know this.
So yeah, he developed the now well-known bartending technique of de-witchification.
Oh.
And
Steve
you
Schneider
have-
was talking
That
about that
comes
on the
from-
Yes.
podcast.
Yeah.
Big
he-
proponent of de-witchification.
They were actually, I think he did a demonstration of that at EO, like up on the bar for their repeal day. Yeah,
yeah.
exactly. Where they just released a whole bunch of just vaporized vodka into the air. And he used his traditional, it's kind of it looks a little bit like an ice scraper mixed with like a julep spoon, but it's the de-witchification paddle that you use to capture the vapors.
Really, it gives it that witch flavor.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's wrap this one.
Yeah.
We have like
And that's why happy hour is illegal in Boston.
Okay. Cheers to that, dude.
Cheers.
We just threw two
Okay, I
very
think-
random situations.
I think we need to have an entire podcast.
right.
That would be such a fun, just like made up facts.
20 minutes of
Okay.
this asshole.
Let's give you one more, but let's keep it to like 3 sentences.
Okay. All right.
Okay. Just a name, a date, and a term.
This is going to be my Ernest Hemingway, like sad story.
Okay. Tell us about the old fashioned. I read that it was originally named the mildly irritated. And what, tell us about the name change.
Yeah. Why did that happen?
So this is actually, there's a the true story behind this
Yeah,
is
yeah.
actually closer than you might think to this thing. But basically the word cocktail, and this is real history
Okay.
here. The word cocktail didn't used to mean what it means today, which is any mixed drink with alcohol. It was a very specific combination of spirit, sugar, water, and bitters, which, today we would recognize as the recipe for an old fashioned if you think of the ice being the water, right? And so you would go into a hotel in the 1800s and you would see like, sling, 10 cents, cocktail, 12 cents, julep, 8 cents or whatever. But as more and more ingredients started arriving in the United States, people started playing around with like, well, I guess for the sugar, we could use this new vermouth stuff. that's coming in from Italy because that's sweet. So that's still technically a cocktail. But if you think about it, that's basically what a Manhattan is, right?
Uh-oh.
So
We're muddying the waters.
Yeah. So flash forward a few years and you'd get to a point where, you'd walk into a bar and you'd see like fancy whiskey cocktail number 2 or like the improved double rum cocktail or something like that.
Are we still in actual history right now?
This is still actual
Okay,
history. Yeah.
All right.
And this is I cannot remember if this is 100% fact. So slap a Wikipedia citation needed on this. But I believe, if I'm remembering correctly, that the old fashioned became called the old fashioned because people would get very, very frustrated and irritated with all of this.
All the newfangled drinks.
all this newfangled crap that's coming in from Europe. And they'd be like, just give me an old fashioned cocktail.
Holy
wow.
moly.
So your answer is actual truth.
That is actually the truth.
Actually the truth. All
Except
right.
for that, again, fact check me on that last part, but I
will
believe I'm
indeed
remembering that
fact
correctly.
Check you. The mildly irritated.
The mildly irritated. And it turns out having an old fashioned is great if you are in fact mildly irritated.
Yes.
So it works out.
We're always mildly irritated. All right, we're going to head into our favorite segment. Do you know how to do an air horn? Because I didn't bring our prop.
I could do a little like meh, 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 just like right into the mic. Yeah. I'm a professional.
That will introduce our segment we like to call I Don't Fuck With That. Judith, what are you not fucking with this week?
I don't fuck with when the merch is cuter than the food or the drink is good.
Mm-hmm.
When you're like, oh my God, they've got the cutest t-shirts and the cutest hats and you can get this little shot glass and it's super cute. And then like, you don't actually want to rep that place because the food's bad or the drinks are bad.
Uh-huh. Well, we are really good and we have really good merch. So
No, I wasn't talking about us.
No,
if
I'm
you
just
want,
saying
it's like
a moment to shout out the merch.
I know. I was actually stunned by this. Look at this. Look at this.
Yeah, show it to the camera.
This
so
beautiful,
cute.
this branded put it in my mouth glass. I was like,
DM
oh my
us
God.
and we'll send you one. You got to pay
That's so
for
nice. I'm slipping this into my bag when you guys aren't watching after the
You're
show.
welcome to it.
Greg, what are you not fucking with? What are you pissed off about?
What really gets you going?
Oh man,
in a bad way.
So I've got one for this, but first of all, how are you all doing on drinks? Because I brought a little surprise that I think that you will fuck with because this is,
Okay. Wow.
Because
He
we are
brought
in
us a gift.
I know. Well, we are in the festive time of year, so this is
Wow.
this is a mulled wine old fashioned that I have been making for probably close to 10 years
Pour it
now.
up, baby.
It is a split base of rye and Jamaican rum with a mulled wine syrup and Angostura and a little bit of plum bitters.
This is going to be great for my throat, right?
Oh yeah, no, yeah.
absolutely.
This is actually legally medicine in the state of Arkansas.
I love that. True story, true fact.
And I love this drink, and this is one that I created back before I was in charge of anything. And I kept bringing this recipe to, the various bartenders and managers and beverage directors I worked with around, the holidays where we are right now. And they'd always be like, I don't know, mulled wine, isn't that a little basic? And I'd be like, no, but it's really good, man. And then when I finally got put in charge of my own beverage problem, I'm like, it's going on the fucking menu.
Yeah.
And it became so popular, we actually had to kind of keep it on as an off menu option all year round. And every time someone would buy one, I'd do a little like, told you so.
Hell yes. Pour us up. Thank you. Cheers. Oh my God. The color, so ruby.
Ooh.
Thank you.
Nose is nice too. All right. So we're definitely fucking with this, but
Oh,
what are you
shit.
not fucking with?
This is really good.
Thank you.
Thank you. This is fucking delicious.
And it is super good for your throat.
Oh, hell yeah.
Oh yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, it's got all the, all the spices, the preservatives. It's great.
Oh, hell yeah.
So two of my favorite things to leave my home for are to go out for drinks and to go to the movies. Obviously I love cocktails. I turned it into a career. Whether or not that's a good choice, I don't know. We'll judge later. And I also I love the movies. Always have. I love the experience of being around other people and watching a film. I think that's something that's so wonderful and human. And it's really one of the last things that's like truly accessible to everyone that has to be a public medium. And I think that's really important for us, not to get all high horse about it, but I think it's really important for us as a society to have that.
Uh-huh.
All that being said, the last thing I want to do is walk into a movie theater and hear about your fucking beverage program. I do not fuck with that. I don't want
Do
it.
not fuck with movie theater beverage programs.
No, I don't, because it combines like going out to a bar is fantastic because you get to really experience, the cocktail that's in front of you and the company that you're with and the ambiance and the atmosphere. And being in a movie is fantastic because everyone is extending their focus and their joy and their laughter and their sorrow in the same direction. And that's beautiful. But I think they're just fundamentally incompatible human experiences. And to try and smush the two of them together makes both of them worse.
I really dislike having a drink before a movie or a play or anything. Like I can't do it.
For you,
I can't.
You don't fuck with it.
I don't fuck with that.
Well, I don't fuck with places that call food fair. I really don't fuck with that.
Fair.
Yeah, I hate that. It's so stupid. It's like light fare. It's like, no, I don't like that. Don't call it that.
Ye old fair.
Old fair.
That kind of makes me think of like warfare, like lawfare, like food fair. It sounds combative. I don't like it.
It's really.
All right, you ready for a quick round?
Hit me.
All right, here we go. What's your go-to drink?
Negroni.
Overrated bartender behavior.
I know I'm violating the spirit of the quick round here. I'm thinking about it. Checking in too much.
Best dive bar.
We already talked about Nacho Mama's. Here in International Bar here in New York, and shout out for my DC friends. Showtime.
Favorite cocktail bar.
Gotta go with Amore and Margot.
Hell yeah.
Gotta keep the love in the family.
Overrated cocktail ingredient.
Luxardo maraschino.
Overrated cocktail bar. Do you dare? Do you dare?
There's so many.
You could just allude to a certain place.
A place that if you were employed there, you would be the only person allowed in.
Oh, wow. Okay. You're going to tell us this off camera. What's your hangover cure?
It is every year that I age, there are more steps to it, but honestly, a run. Like it's gonna suck.
Oh God.
You're gonna feel so bad for the first half of it, but you know what? You're gonna sweat it out. You might even throw up halfway through, but you're going to feel great afterwards. And then you get back, you got some of those endorphins. You're going to slam like half a gallon of water because you just dried up like a raisin, and you will feel
I hate that
slightly to marginally better.
She doesn't fuck with that.
I don't fuck with that. What's your favorite slice and from where?
Oh man. Local to me down in Bay Ridge, New York's coolest neighborhood of 2029. Vesuvio. I love them. Traditional, just like Italian spot. Been there forever. Here in Manhattan, I'm actually going to go off-roading Lions, Tigers, and Squares.
Oh, word.
Detroit style.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And the best thing that you have put in your mouth lately?
I haven't been out to a lot of places recently. I've actually kind of been...
You could have made it.
Say what?
You could have made it. It could be anything.
Oh, okay. Well, if I made it, it was going to be like, I have like half a dozen recipes that I cycle through of food that I make. But I will say, I will give a shout out to one of my absolute faves. There is a taco truck that parks at the end of my block. It is there as far as I can tell 24 hours a day.
Oh,
I've seen it there at 5 a.m. I've seen it there at 7 a.m. And they make the best birria I have ever had in my entire fucking life.
Okay.
So good.
And I was out until 3 o'clock in the morning last Friday, and I came back, and that just it was all lit up. They've got the
birria paired with a margarita from Nebraska.
Oh my God! Yes,
God.
a traditional
That's
Omaha
just like a salmon.
margarita.
Margarita. Sounds delicious.
The little bit of fish sauce in there, the way the settlers used to make it.
Greg, thank you for being here.
Yeah.
I'm sorry we only had an hour. If a cocktail rapture happened and there happened to be absolutely no more cocktails, what would you be doing? Nothing.
I was like the honest
answer.
I would be trying to make myself like smoking pot probably. I'd be like, well, I guess I got to train myself to enjoy this now.
Oh my God.
It's either that or fully experience my inner life in the world around me.
Gross.
No,
Gross.
absolutely not.
Yo, cheers for being here.
Thank you
for
so
the
much.
delicious gift. Check out Greg Benson and his co-hosts on the Speakeasy Pod. Shout out your socials where they can find you. Anything else you want the people at home to know?
Oh, yeah. Well, you can find us at Speakeasy Podcast on Instagram. We are a weekly show. We drop every Friday, which is, they always say drop podcasts in the middle of the week. We're in the middle of the bartender week to give people a little something on their commutes. We have our end of year wrap up show coming up, and then we'll be back in January and weekly for pretty much the rest of 2026. I am on Instagram at Grog Benson. And I have a show coming up. Is this going to air before the 27th?
No.
Shoot. Well, I was doing a show called After Dark Confessions in Richmond. You missed it. Sorry. Or maybe you didn't. If you were there, it was great to see you.
Richmond.
But I also do this monthly at a bar called Someday Bar in Brooklyn, just off of Atlantic Avenue. It's a show where I dress up as a rhinestoned priest and I get people to write down things that they've done anonymously and drop it into an actual collection plate, because you can just buy those on the internet. They don't check your ID.
Oh my God,
and then me and my co-hosts. Oh my God, yeah, no, come out for the next one.
Holy shit, the religion,
like it's a confession.
Wow.
And it's super fun because again, it's all anonymous. But me and my co-host, we get these confessions and we read them out loud to the bar and we kind of riff on them a little bit.
Oh.
And then I always tell people for every round we pick a winner. And if you win, I always tell people you have a choice to make. You can choose to remain anonymous. That is your right. I'm not going to call anybody out. Or you can reveal yourself, come up to the front of the room, answer the extremely personal follow-up questions I will have about the thing that you did. And you get a free shot of whiskey.
Okay.
Y'all, go to that. Visit Greg. Visit his Insta. Check out the Speakeasy Pod. And you can find us across all social platforms at Put It In My Mouth Pod. Judith, I love you.
I love you too.
Y'all, taste buds. Thanks for listening. We'll see you next time. Bye. Cheers. Yeah, dog. Oof. Thank you, Destiny.
Thank you so much.
What is, I like it. What, I like it.
Put It In My Mouth podcast is recorded in New York City at WTF Studios and hosted by Lala Zimsky and Judith Basich. It's produced by myself, Lala Zimsky, and entirely self-funded. So if you would like to support or sponsor an episode, please reach out to putitinmymouthpod@gmail.com. We would love to take your money. You can also support us on all socials across the board at putitinmymouthpod. Our intro and outro segments were created by Tyler Milliron. Our theme music was composed by Javier Dunn. Our editor is Saeem Asif. Please leave a review. It means the world to us and helps us get seen. Thanks for listening.